Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back for another episode. It is Harry Pankaj and Johnny Starr, also known, well, my real name's John Gorman. And last time we did an episode with Harry, my friend, talking about finance and just getting towards your goals financially. He had some great advice. We got so much good feedback from the last episode that we thought we'd do another one with some more structured questions that came in too. So Harry, how have you been?
Very good.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for coming back. How's life treating you lately?
Very nice.
You went to Tomorrowland?
We did.
How was it?
Awesome.
I actually prepped him for Tomorrowland a little bit. He
Yes.
wanted to go there in speedos like I did with his Australian flag
I couldn't
on
get
his shoulders.
as
Can we talk
much.
about that?
Yes.
We nearly got there, but next Tomorrowland, we're going to make sure you're completely sliced.
Yes.
He's doing his meal prep. He's trading his ass off. He's doing all the right things. So
Yes.
he's
crossed.
living my old life now because he's done all. We're doing it backwards. I'm trying to get to where you are, and
Yes.
you're trying to get to where I was back then.
Yes. But we got to do it together then.
Next year we're doing it together. Sorry, babe. We're going to Europe, Belgium. All right. So if you haven't watched the last episode, I recommend you doing that. The feedback was phenomenal, bro. I got so many great messages.
Yeah.
And touching on Harry again, you have a finance company called
Loans direct.
Loans Direct.
Yep.
You've had that for over, is it 20 years now?
Yeah. Give or take about 20.
And Harkon Construction.
Yep.
Has that been a decade now or 8 years?
Yes, that's been close to 12, let's say.
12 years. Beautiful.
Yeah. Give or take.
Anything, what else do you do? Construction,
That's it.
finance,
Yep.
and you work out.
And I work out.
And you work out.
Yes.
Awesome. It's pretty much what we all want to do. So let's get into the questions before it gets too boring. Had some great questions come in, and we actually sliced this down. So this won't be the longest podcast, but I think it's going to really help a lot of people. So Harry,
Yep.
thanks again for coming on. Question number
Pleasure.
one.
Yes.
How do I know my credit rating, and does it matter when I'm getting a loan?
Yes, definitely. So, if you go apply for any kind of loan, whether it's your personal loan, your car loan, or your home loan, credit rating is the first thing that any bank or most of the banks do check. That's the first thing they do. And most of the banks, what I know, you got any mark on your credit rating, you might have just a $10 default or a judgment, or you can have a $1 million judgment. It's a big no. It's a straight no. Game over. So you got any mark on your credit rating, normally it's harder to get a loan. Or
Can
it's a no.
I jump in?
Please?
How do you prevent from getting those marks? Is this if you have credit cards that you've missed payments on, or
Yep.
direct debits you've missed, or is it stuff like
Yep.
that?
So it's a variety of reasons. To start with, so it's a common defaults starting with your bills, with your utility bills, whether it's your electricity, your gas, your water, going back to your mobile, your Telstra, going all the way up to your council, your rates notices, and your judgments. Like if you're in a business, you haven't paid your suppliers, they go to the magistrate's court, and they get a judgment, and the judgment's filed on you, or all the way to bankruptcy, Part 9 or Part 10 full bankruptcies. So there can be multiple factors for the marks on your credit ratings, for as small as from $10 to all the way to millions of dollars.
So all these variables can affect you getting a loan.
Yes, definitely, because that's the first thing the banks do check. So I recommend everyone to, like it used to be called Visa Advantage before that. There's still about 7 credit agencies in Australia working, but there's the main one is called Equifax.
Equifax.
Yep, EQUIFAX, owned by American parent company now. Go online, you can pretty much get a free credit report if you're happy to wait for some time. I think it's about a week now. And that way you know your credit score, you know if you got any marks, because it might not be your default. You might have a same surname or same date of birth of another person living somewhere else in Australia. Someone has done some fraud ID on you. You always need to have your credit report in check, that you have got a good credit report. Have a free credit report, so at least you know that you're clean, and then you can go and apply for a loan.
Okay.
So yes, it does affect getting a loan through a bank. But again, that's what we as brokerage firms do exist, that if you do have marks, you can go to your second tier lenders or your third tier lenders or your private financiers who can give you the money at a higher rate. So, if you got marks, you can go to second tier lenders. If the banks give you 6%, they might give 7 or 8%. Or you can go to all the way to private lenders or solicitor funds, as we call them, who might give you the money at 10 or 15% interest rates.
That high. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but again, for someone who wants to get in the door, or it does make some money out of it for a development argument's sake, it might be worthwhile getting the money even those at those high rates. But it's not game over. But it's game over with the banks. But again, there's second or third tier lenders who you can approach and get the money. But yeah, always have your credit report in check.
So it's good if you know a broker like yourself,
Yes.
or someone who works in finance,
Yes.
to sidestep the banks
Yep.
and get finance through
Yep.
alternative lenders or some private lending.
Yep. And saying that you can clean up your credit ratings. It's not that if you got 5 defaults or 3 judgments that you can't do anything. Normally it goes away in 5 years. So after 5 years you do get a clean credit report again. But it's not again game over. There are credit fix agencies, clean credit agencies who do take your cases, go and fight with the suppliers or the utility providers who have listed the defaults, and they can clean up your credit reports.
Beautiful.
So there are things that you can do.
A bit of hope for people, which is
Yes.
good. Okay, thank you for that answer. Question number 2. How much deposit do I need to buy a house?
Look, norm is 20%. So if you're buying a house for $500,000, 100 grand is what you need. But most of the banks at these days can do 5% deposits as well, plus stamp duties, which means if you're buying a $500,000 house, 5% is 25 grand, plus the stamp duties, little bit of mortgage insurance. So there are products which can do 5 or 10% deposit home loans as well. But you pay anything less than 20%, you get charged a thing called mortgage insurance,
Yep.
which
Lenders
is about
mortgage
2%.
insurance?
Yeah, and then you pay mortgage insurance once off to get that loan.
How much is lenders mortgage insurance?
It
generally?
depends. On 80% is 0, but you go up to 90%, it might be 2%. You go to 95%, it might be 3 or 4%. It
Is that
depends on the loan amounts.
And can they roll that into the mortgage?
They can roll that majority of that into the mortgage. Yes.
Okay, understand. So generally, you really need about 20%.
Generally, rule of thumb is 20.
Yep.
But again, you don't have deposits. You have got your parents or someone who can secure their property as security. You can use their property as a deposit guarantee as well.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be cash in necessarily all the time.
So let's say my brother did that with my parents. So you want to buy your first property, and your parents might have their property paid off. They've got a lot of equity in it. You can use that equity
Yep.
as a guarantor to
Yep.
purchase your
Yep.
property.
We call it as security guarantor.
Security guarantor.
So that security is the property, and they are the guarantors. They're not guaranteeing your loan, but they're just putting the 20% equity from their property as a guarantee as a deposit.
How about if you want to buy your second property and you've got equity in your first
Yeah.
one? Can you use the equity in that as your
Yep,
deposit?
of course, bloody oath. So you can do the refinance or do the equity release or cash out as we call it from a first property, put that equity towards your next property. So you don't have to have cash for if you got enough equity in your other securities or properties.
There you go, guys.
Definitely.
If my credit rating is bad,
Yep.
can I still get a loan? You kind of answered it in the first question there. You still can.
Yes, you still can. So you can approach brokers like me, who can give you a variety of lenders. So at the moment, there are more than 100 lenders who can, on the second or third tier lenders who can, again, depends on you're going to get a personal loan. Yes, there are. You're going to equipment and car loans. Yes, there are. You're going to get home loan, commercial loans. Yes, there are. So there are lenders who can help you even if you got bad credit. Bad credit obviously means to a degree. Like if you're current bankrupt, no, you can't. It's pretty much illegal for you to get money. You're discharged bankrupt even one day, yes, you can get money. And
Okay.
yeah, so it just depends on how bad. Like if someone has got racked up 100 defaults and is not even paying for the last 10 years, maybe not. But if you got 2, 3, 4 defaults and you got some sort of explanation and you're coming clean in the future, yes, people will be there. Lenders will be there to help you.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Here's another one. So question number 4. If I'm not permanent resident, or if I'm not a permanent resident, can I still get a loan?
Yeah, personal loan, yes. You need to have some sort of pre-solid visa, as we call it. So not on student visas, as we're just talking about personal loans. We divide that into 3 sections: personal loans, car loans, and then home loans. Personal loans, you need to have some sort of solid visas, like your employer-sponsored visas, which are 2 or 3 year visas. You need to be living in a regional area or the area designated. Yes, you can get it in that terms. Car loans, again, yes, you can. Not on a temporary visa or bridging visas, but on some sort of visas which have got some sort of tenure of 3 or 5 years. Yes, you can. Home loans, again, yes, but the deposits are pretty much 30%, not 20% as a bare minimum. And the stamp duties, as some of you might know, is not 5%, it's close to 12.5% in Victoria, at least we
Okay.
say. Because we need to apply for a thing called FIRB, Foreign
Foreign
Investment Review Board,
Yep.
and then you pay 7.5% extra being a foreign resident to buy a property, plus the 30% deposits. But yes, most of the people should be eligible for that 70% loans.
So some of these students, you need a 30% deposit and a 12.5%
Stamp duty.
stamp duty.
Yeah,
So
instead of
sort
5%.
Instead of 5.5% or 5%.
Yeah. At least in Victoria. All states have got different legislations for FIRBs and stamp duties.
Do you get a lot of people coming to you who are overseas who need finance?
Yeah, heaps.
Yeah,
Yeah, we got a lot of from mainland China. We get few from Hong Kong. Few from Indian subcontinent. Yeah, for different parts of the world we do. Yeah.
Okay, next question. If I'm self-employed
Mm-hmm.
and have no papers to show income,
Yep.
can I still get a loan?
Mm-hmm.
Business, personal or home loan? All of them.
Yes, you can. So people who can't demonstrate their income on paper, when we say paper, we mean tax returns, your financials. Yes, there's products called low doc loans in the market.
What does low doc mean?
Low doc means low documentation loans, which means in most cases, which means that no tax returns, no BAS statements, a self-declaration or a declaration from your accountant that argument's sake you are a sparky or a plumber, you earn 50 or 100 grand a year, but you haven't done your taxes for a few years. That doesn't mean that you can't get a loan. With the big banks, yes, you might not, but with the second-tier bankers out there, you can get low doc loans. You can have an accountant who can certify your income, or you can self-certify your income in some cases that you do earn that much on an ABN or a company, and Bob's your uncle. You can get the money. So yeah, so it's not necessarily game over if you don't have the papers to show the income.
So there's a way around that. So low doc loans. I hear people talk about that all the time.
Yes.
Okay, next question, Harry.
Yes.
I've just started my job.
Mm-hmm.
Am I eligible to take a loan? So let's say they've been in their job a couple months.
Yep.
Like that?
We can help with people even with one-day jobs. So you can have a job started yesterday, as long as you're full-time. It doesn't have necessarily has to be permanent as well. You can be in a probation period, as we call it. But yes, you can be eligible with few banks to get the money. You don't have to have the job for 3 months or 3 years necessarily to have your income serviced.
So what happens then if the person loses that job suddenly? And
But that's the truth. Like many people have asked me this question. This is not
Yeah.
the first time. But you got to realize most home loans are 30 year, and what are the chances someone will be in that job for 30 years? I think hardly. So that's a bare truth, and banks know that, and they have done the policies accordingly. So the truth is that they think that if you're of a certain age, of a certain qualification, you're doing certain job, even if you lose the job in future, you might find another job which is equivalent or a little bit less or a little bit more. So that's the truth.
they factor that in.
If they factor that in, it's very unlikely that you may not find another job and you just be out of job for years to come, unless you are unwilling to work out there's a TPD or accident happened on workplace. So because of 30-year loan term, and personally, I haven't come across a person who's been in the same job for the last 20 years yet. Yeah, like
Yeah,
most.
there's not many, is there?
Yeah. So
Okay, so what happens if I don't have a 20% deposit for a home loan?
yep. So if you do not have 20% deposit,
If you
for
don't
home
have
loan,
20%.
yeah. So as I earlier said, you can have 5% home loans.
We mentioned this before.
Who can do it. There's other ways around it as well. So you can secure a personal loan to pay the deposit as well in some instances. So argument's sake, you book the land for 200 or 300 grand. You can source 5% deposits, get a loan, personal loan for that. You can declare that you want to buy a residential property. Not many banks accept it, but there are a few lenders who does accept as that is purpose for getting the personal funds. And then once the property is built, the equity can be increased and you can get more money on the same property in future. So again, it's not game over if you don't have the money for the deposit as well. So there are ways around that. Yeah, you can get that money as long as the income is there. You can get more money.
Yeah, so I speak to some of my friends now, and their biggest problem is saving for that deposit
Yeah.
with the lifestyles that they live too.
Yeah.
Like everyone's trying to have a bit too much fun these days.
Yeah.
So I do my meal prep so I can save as much money as possible, right?
Yeah.
And whack it back into never home.
Yeah.
So the 20%, someone's trying to buy a $700,000 loan. What's that? 10%, 140 grand.
Yep.
A bit overwhelming for some people, but there's ways around that. So
Yep.
if they want, they can come and have a chat to you.
Yeah, well, of course. So you got my landline and mobile number on you.
Mm.
So, but again, even if someone doesn't
Whoever
want
it
a
is.
loan through me, or with it doesn't matter.
the
They always can buzz, and I can always at least point them to the right directions. Before the GFC happened, there used to be banks who used to do 110% loans. There used to be a mob from Merrill Lynch, mob from America. Even Macquarie Bank used to do that, 110% loans.
Really?
So, yeah, like, and that's what the GFC started with. They used to call jingle keys, jingle mail. So you buy a property for 500, and they used to give you 140, 150% loan. So they used to give you $700,000 loan on $500,000 property. People used to go spend the cash on fun parts or buy luxury cars, and couldn't afford the mortgages, and they used to send the keys back in the mail, which is called jingle mail back. That's where the GFC started.
Okay.
Because it was prudent lending, as we used to call. And that's why they curbed that out. So it's 95% maximum with the banks now, not 110%. But there's still ways to source that deposit as long as you got income to service that extra loan.
Good to know. How about this one, Harry? Next question along the line. Do I need a deposit for a car or other equipment loan?
Normally, no. You can pretty much get 100% loans for a car. Personal loan is 100%, and equipment loans being your tractor, your heavy machinery, your trucks, pretty much 100%, including GST. So you can even get the GST back if you're buying it for purpose.
I got a friend that I was just with before. He wants to buy a truck and start a business too. So he was trying to save cash to buy that truck.
No.
150K. I'm like, just go borrow it.
No. Yeah. Normally on trucks, like obviously the trucks or the heavy machinery cannot be as old. Normally the parameters are 12 years at the max.
Yeah.
If it's a newish truck, like a 4 or 5 year old truck or a new truck, no problems in the world. If they got servicing, you can pretty much get 100% loans on your trucks and cars any day of the week, no problems.
Beautiful.
And we can do them again low doc as well. You don't need to have income documents to service that. You can have self-certification income.
So you don't need a deposit to get it, cars or other equipment loans?
In most instances, if you got bad marks on your credit history or there's some other variables there, then you might need 10-20% deposits. Like grey imports, you won't get 100% deposits. With grey imports, I mean your Toyota Supras, your Nissan GTRs. So those cars you can get 100% because they're not normal cars. They've been brought to the country and done stuff to it. So normally 70% of the maximum on those securities.
I always wanted a Supra.
You used to own a Supra?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to love Supras. we don't see the Supras anymore.
They're pretty rare.
Yeah.
You don't see much of them.
Yeah.
There was a couple more questions that came in. We kind of touched on them last time, Harry.
Yep.
But I'll bring it up again.
Yep.
As I said, this won't be a super long podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But these other questions that came in from a couple people.
Yep.
And sorry for doubling up, but in the current climate, someone said, would you recommend still buying a property for young investors? I know the answer is going to be yes.
Yes, I think it's a great time to buy at the moment. We do anticipate the market to turn up at least 10% next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and definitely, because the confidence is definitely rising. The interest rates have pretty much plateaued. You don't see any more increases, which we are hoping for anyway in June, July, which they have now. And so confidence should start to build up again.
And you were just saying to me before, you got a couple of mates that have multiple businesses.
Yep.
But the ones where they're making money is through the property, right?
It's through property, yeah.
Like one had 28 businesses, and the ones he's making.
Yes, he does.
He's got hotels and all these other things.
Yep. But yeah.
I lunched with a friend yesterday, and he's done really well.
Mm-hmm.
And he said most of it was just through property. He owns a few gyms too. He's got a few Anytime Fitness franchises.
Yep.
But the big bucks he made was property.
Yep.
And he had one in Seaford, and within, correct me if I'm wrong, he said within 3 to 4 years that property doubled. He sold it, made some quick money, and reinvested it. He did really well. So I think it's good. Bank get yourself serious. Go buy something that'll force you to get your money right. You can keep paying that mortgage on that.
Yep.
And that's just going to grow.
Yes, spot on. Because you know you got a $3,000 mortgage a month, and automatically your mindset will be okay.
You got to work.
Yeah, you got to
Yep.
work. Do not go out all the weekends.
Yep.
Have some home prep meals for some, and you know you will automatically save up.
Yeah.
It just
And give that
It'll
20
just
years
come.
time, and you'll be like, oh, thank God I listened to Harry and Johnny on that podcast.
Yes.
Another few, we touched on them last time too.
Yep.
You do very well. Work-life balance. You're going to bed early.
Yep.
You're still training hard too. Training takes a lot of your energy. Like we train really hard. When I train abs with you, I'm
yeah.
cooked. All right.
I think the other way around. Like when I train, I think the day goes really well.
It does go well. I trained this morning.
You
it was
eat
good.
less junk.
You do.
Yeah, and the energy levels are better, I think. I'm not sure this is the pre-workouts that we take, but it does goes
In
on.
the
It
toilet?
keeps on buzzing, and I think the days goes really well. Like the
You're physically fit though.
and emotions are in balance. And, I mean the hormones. I'm not sure. It's just the day and like for me the anger management goes so good if I done gym in the morning. It just very happy vibes.
This is off topic, but you're a different person in business than you are on this podcast. Because
Yes.
so you see Harry now. Oh, this guy seems so nice and friendly, but far out, you're a pain in the ass to speak to if someone doesn't like.
I do apologize if I came across. Yes, but yeah.
Yeah. But he's got a business hat that he puts on, and even I'm like, God, I better not say the wrong thing to this guy because I don't want to waste his time. But you
Yes.
said that's how you've become to be the person you've become as well,
Yeah,
right?
because exactly, spot on. Because for
'Cause
my
like
motto is
Johnny-
if you work, you work, and if
Yeah.
you relax, you relax. You go on the beach and sit out with a beer. You
So
do
work-life
that.
balance, you're training hard. I think training's good for my fitness too.
Yep.
And teaches you discipline. You just apply that with everything
Yes,
else.
I think discipline is everything. Go to bed early, wake up early. I think that's half the battle one. And if the meals are home prep, that's the other half.
Going to bed early is important too.
Yes.
Oh, you get stuck on, just before this started, you get stuck on TikTok or Instagram Reels.
Half an
You
hour
don't
gone.
even have the apps on your phone, do you?
No, I
To go on
deleted them.
Instagram, you have to log in on your computer to
Yeah.
check it, right?
Yeah, so I'll go on Safari to go on Facebook or Insta because once I have apps, that's it. Half an hour is gone. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
That's actually really important too. When I took time off social media ages ago, I would delete the app during the week,
Yes.
and on the weekend I reopened
Okay.
Instagram.
Yeah.
That worked for me. It was like my treat having social media on the weekends,
Yep.
and during the week I worked.
Yeah, very smart.
And they were the best years I had
Yes.
financially because
Yeah.
all I could do was work. I wasn't
Yeah.
distracted too.
Yeah, because I was just noticing just last week, I didn't have apps. You just spend 15 minutes and you can reshuffle all your wardrobe, clean up the whole house,
Yep.
do the whole laundry, everything can be done in less than half an hour. And here you are spending 1 hour sitting on Instagram, just scrolling through reels. You don't even know the time's going on, but in that you can do so much stuff in that 1 hour. You can pretty much change, the things around you.
Man,
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be watching reels
Yeah.
and I'm scrolling through. I can't even remember what I watched
Yeah.
for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't learn anything,
Yeah.
but they suck you in,
Yeah.
this content. That's why when I try and make the content,
Yeah.
everything I do with Scott and myself or you,
Yeah.
I try and make it informative so people can actually learn something from it.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
Okay, Harry, last question.
Yep.
We touched on it last time as well. This is a really basic one. I think people need to know about how the system works and the save to spend ratio. You said last time if you make $1, did you say save 50%?
50 cents. Yep.
So try and save 50 cents in
Yes.
$1.
Save 50
So
cents.
if you earn 50K, 100K, 300K, you apply that to everything.
Yes.
That's the rule of thumb.
There's a rule of thumb.
Yeah.
You save 50 cents, and the other 50 cents is for you to play, whether it's to spend on yourself or invest. But again, it depends on what phase of life you are in as well. If you're investing in property, you can go a bit more on it. Obviously, you have to, I think, with most people.
Yeah, of course.
But if you're thinking of investing in cryptos or some others, I'll limit myself to 50 because for me, it's gambling of another nature.
Do you ever meet people that make a decent income but they seem to never have any money still?
Who makes decent income
And still don't have any money?
yeah, all the time.
Man, I know a few people. I'm like, man, you got such a good job. Like,
Yes.
how do you not have money to buy this? He goes, I don't know.
Yeah,
Unorganized.
because when I was a cab driver, like I used to pick up strippers all the time from men's gallery. Spearmint used to be there,
Okay.
and every weekend I used to pick them up. They were broke again. And I said, and some of the girls used to tell me they make $1,000 a day. I said, how can that be possible on Earth?
And they still have no money.
And still have the money because on the weekends,
Easy come, easy go,
who-
right?
Yeah, who knows, like drugs, or you used to go away. So management is as important as earning.
Yeah. I've tried to tighten it up too with myself. At least because I'm going away soon. I thought I need to have a bit of spending money when I go to Korea and Japan. So I'm really pretty strict with it, even when I have some good months.
Yeah.
Harry, that was all the questions that we got quite a lot more, but we culled it down to those important ones. So thanks so much. Anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
No, thanks for all your time.
No, I appreciate
doing
it.
this podcast.
Kyle, thank you for letting us use your studio. Kyle, Pivotal Conversations. It's Pivotal Conversations at Instagram. What's your Instagram again?
What's your Instagram?
Do you know?
My Instagram?
Yeah.
It's Punky, P for Peter, ANKI _ Harry, HARRY.
That's it.
That's it.
And the finance company is called Loans Direct.
Loans Direct.
And
the
you put that at the
construction
front, can't
company
you?
is called Harkon.
Harkon Construction.
Yeah. But again, you got any questions for finance, because there's so many, and trust me, I do loans for bankers in the bank.
You said that, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a lot of misinformation or wrong information floating in the market. You get any questions, as I said, I don't have to do the loans. I've got plenty on myself. My hands are full, but I'm here happy. If I do get time, I will answer your question. At least you know what the right answers are, and you can get pointed to the right directions. So there's no misinformation. Because I find so many times, even we load a file to a business banker, and they give us wrong information. This can't be done. This rent can't be taken into servicing, or the there's a $10 default, we can't do the loan, or this security can't be taken as security. And I have to educate the bankers, no man, a bank can do it. Read this policy under this section, we can do it.
There you go.
And the loans are done. So there's a lot of wrong information floating, at least in finance sector. So you got any questions or anything, let me know. If I can answer, I will answer, point you to the right direction. And it makes a hell lot of difference, because we see people who lose property all the time. And once you, in a young age, you lose, you can't buy a property, that's it. Who knows, the whole life will be gone, and you may not be able to buy a property if you don't get the right information.
It's truly life-changing.
Yeah. Like I had a personal, a basketball trainer for my daughter, and he was buying a property, and the loan was declined right 3 days before
Settlement.
4 days before settlement.
Oh my gosh.
And he was in tears. He said, and he knew that I was in finance, but he never asked a question, because finance can be 100 different things. You can be a fund manager, you can be a portfolio manager. It doesn't have to. And then Harry, and I said, Dylan, you should have asked me earlier. No problems on earth. Just tell me what it is. And this is, and it was a silly mistake from a banker who was he applying with. The loan was done. Property was settled in 4 days. No problems on earth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So it doesn't matter. Even if it's 2 days, 24 hours apart. Yeah. If it means life or death or a serious situation for you, just text me on Insta or whatever the platform is, or even call us on the landline. If we can help, I'll point you to the right direction.
Do you know
I said, I'm not hungry for business. Yeah.
What's the landline number?
03 9819 4656.
One more time.
03 9819 4656.
Beautiful. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Harry, thank you again.
Thanks, Johnny.
We'll do another one
Yes.
in a month or so again.
We'll love to.
With some different questions.
We'll see
too.
what questions comes.
Yeah, getting great feedback from this.
Yeah, and we can try and answer some questions, what the general feedback is.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
See you guys soon. Thank you.